constitution, we have nothing to show for it.
On his part, Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembeya, he has called for concerted effort from leaders in the county to boost health services for residents who are forced to travel many kilometers to get their health services.
Mambo ya afya katika counties imekuwa devolved 100%, lakini kwa county yetu ya Trans Nzoia tuko na changamoto kubwa sana. Hakuna haja county kama hii ya Trans Nzoia ikuwe watu wetu waenda kutafuta matibabu kule Ziwa, kule Eldoret ama kule Kapenguria. Tuko na uwezo kuhakikisha ya kwamba watu wetu wanapata matibabu hapa.
Meanwhile, residents of LBCL town in Kajiado County have raised alarm over the increased sale and consumption of drugs in the area. The residents have subsequently blamed the police of laxity, saying some of the drug peddlers are well known by authorities.
The angry residents, accompanied by police officers and local administration, had raided a notorious bank peddler a few days after he was fined by the court and released after an arrest. The middle-aged man, identified as Generali, was found with more than 15 kilograms of dried bang, dozens rolls of bang, and more than 5,000 shillings believed to be the proceeds of the illegal trade. Locals claim the suspect usually dodged the law, vowing not to relent until he is punished.
Lakini ile inatukasirisha haswa hapa Bisi tukiwa wazazi. Akipelekwa pale kotini anaachiliwa. Kwa nini yeye anaachiliwa? Kama wangu saa hii mimi ni mwadhiriwa. Wangu saa hii ako ndani. Mbona yeye akifika pale hawekwi ndani kama ule wangu ambaye alimtumia azungushe hiyo banki? Na yeye ako uhuru. Hatutaki saa hii. Sisi tukiwa hapa kina mama tunasema hatuwezi kubaliana na hiyo koti ambayo itamwachilia huyo mwanaume anaitwa Generali.
Imekuwa tishio kwa watoto mpaka hata wa university, hata wasichana wanakula hiyo kitu mpaka mtu aelewi. Hata ile pesa amesomeshwa naye hawezi rudisha. Hata mtoto muone kwa nyumba inakuwa shida. Hata sisi sasa tumefika mwisho. Tunaomba serikali kuu na serikali ya kaunti itusaidie watoto wetu warudi hali ya kawaida.
The local administration blames the court of laxity to punish the suspect who has been recruiting students as his agents for several years.
Tunaomba kwa ajili amekuwa akiharibu watoto wengi wa hii mji. Tunaomba asiachiliwe au kimiwe kifungo ambayo itakuwa funzo kwa wengine.
Police suspect the bank sold in Ilbisil is being sourced from the porous border between Kenya and Tanzania. Yusuf Hilo, Lunchtime News.
Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has called on East African Bloc leaders meeting on November 16th to discuss the conflict in Ethiopia. A senior official in Uganda's Foreign Affairs Ministry said Thursday that President Museveni held talks with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed on the ongoing situation in Ethiopia and has expressed concern at the refusal by the Tigray group to engage in negotiations and reach a ceasefire. Meanwhile, U.S. Special Envoy Jeffrey Feltman is due in Addis Ababa to discuss the conflict amid rising concern that it could escalate further. Feltman will meet government representatives a year after Tigrayan insurgents seized federal army bases, sparking a conflict that has since claimed thousands of lives. Tigrayan rebel forces claiming to have taken another town, Kimise, along a major highway 330 kilometers north of Addis Ababa. Now, youth recovering from substance abuse in Kiambu County are set to benefit from a rehabilitation program to aid their recovery from drug abuse and addiction. This program, by a well-wisher from the area, aims to curb the use of illicit liquor, hard drugs, and rising cases of crime in the area. The recovering addicts were also issued with medical cards that will help them have easier access to medical care.
wakienda kupata bibi ama nini hawawezangi kufanya hiyo mambo, sababu dawa ziliua nini, pombe iliua hizo vitu. So lazima tufuatane na wao. Tukishafuatana na wao, waletewe daktari, ndio mtu akienda hospitali anaweza kusema shida yake.
Sasa sisi tunaomba madamu wasimame na sisi, atuchukulie hiyo good conduct, atuchukulie ID. Wengine hawana ID, kusema ukweli. Hawana good conduct, hawana nini. Si robbery ama sisi tulibadilika. Sisi ni wale, sio wale wa beleni.
Report brings us to a shop break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. More news is coming up.
Ndipo mimi nakwisha toa hii maneno mara kwa mara kwa kuwahimiza nyinyi wanawake muingie katika bunge. Wengi wenu mnakataa, wengine wenu mnaogopa, sababu pale ndani ya bunge ndio penye matata, ndio penye mambo yanatokea huko. Na nyinyi mimi nawaonyesha kwamba nyinyi mna nguvu zaidi ya wanaume. Kwa nini nyinyi hapana chagua wanawake, muwapigie kura, waingie huko kwenye mambo? Nani anawakataza hiyo kitu?
They put their boots on the ground to defend and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of Kenya. After thorough training, another lot of recruits is now ready for that active patriotic duty. Catch KBC Channel 1 for live coverage of Kenya Defence Forces pass-out parade from Moi Barracks, Eldoret.
Welcome back. Now let's proceed. The United Kingdom Minister for Armed Forces James Hepe has reaffirmed his government's commitment in ensuring that the family of Agnes Wanjiru, who was allegedly murdered by a British soldier 9 years ago at Nanyuki Hotel, gets justice. Speaking at Batuk Nyati Barracks in Nanyuki, the minister said once the investigations are complete, the suspect will be prosecuted in the country to ensure justice is served.
Responsible to be brought to justice, because Agnes and her family have already had to wait too long for these cases to be resolved. We need that now to be investigated and brought to the courts here in Kenya as quickly as possible, and any further allegations that come to light will be dealt with the same urgency on our part.
News making headlines in the business world. A delegation from the Institute of Agricultural Sciences of Burundi is in Kenya on a benchmarking tour on pest and disease control. Speaking in Nakuru while receiving the delegation, Nakuru Deputy Governor Dr. Alfred Korir attributed Kenya's strides in pest and disease control to partnerships involving the government, private sector and farmers structured to deepen extension services and provide timely information to farmers.
Kenya continues to be a hub for emulatable agricultural practices, with the Burundi delegation starting their tour in Nakuru County. Nakuru Deputy Governor Dr. Alfred Korir, who received the delegation, noted that various stakeholders work seamlessly in a structure that deepens extension services and provides timely information and services to farmers.
There should be collaboration between these two countries so that they can foster the issues agriculture in this particular region. And the team that is come here today is actually to check and see what are some of the strengths Nakuru has as a county and also Kenya as a country, so that they can actually take some of these best practices to their country and actually see how they can implement it there.
The Deputy Governor said the close collaboration among players in the agricultural sector has helped reduce post-harvest losses attributed to pests and diseases.
We also managed to control the pesticides that we use, using by liaising with the best management practices that we need for our country and the country at large.
The Institute of Agricultural Sciences Director General Alfred Niokwishimira hopes the collaboration between the two countries would grow agriculture and trade.
And it is a very good place for Burundi to refer so that we can go back and implement the experiences that we are learning from this country to develop our agriculture system, especially on pest management and the crop system development.
The Burundian delegation is keen on key information to enable the country make agricultural export inroads to the European market. Reporting for Lunchtime News, my name is Hibak Said.
Moving on, the government has earmarked 3 billion shillings to support export of livestock products. The fund will see implementation of an export port in Lamu, as well as the implementation of the livestock identification and traceability strategy. Through the strategy, the government is keen on ensuring that livestock and their products can be traced throughout the value chain. This is part of efforts of improving the quality of Kenyan livestock products and accessibility to international markets.
Animal products that we're exporting should be able to be traced, and that's why some of them are even insisting that animals should have passports. So that they're able to trace the history of the animal, whether it has had any disease, because some of the animal diseases are also zoonotic. That's why this conference is here. Government, we have budgeted for 3 billion. We want to create export processing zone, especially in Lamu. We have already, we are working, there's a multi-sectoral committee that is working on that. We want to fence that area. We want to develop put their laboratories, we want to put the sheds where the animals will be, and we have developed 4 disease-free zones.
And that traceability is very key and important, and identification, so that when animals are vaccinated, when they are treated, it is known who treated the animal, what was the ingredients, active ingredients that were used to that animal, and so that we are able to see if there are challenges or there are problems with the probably foot and mouth rabies that is transmitted either by dogs or cats.
Nakuru County and the Eastern Africa Green Council have moved in to construct a 249 million shilling fish market in Karai Center in a bid to address the safety of the fish hawkers. The first phase of this mad fish market will be ready by the end of the year, making it the first ever such facility in the region.
For years, the sight of youth jostling to sell fish along the Nairobi-Nakuru highway has been the norm, despite exposing themselves to speeding vehicles. Scores of them have been maimed by the speeding cars and their catch confiscated by public health officers on safety grounds, but this has not deterred their efforts to get their daily bread. This now will become a thing of the past with the construction of a modern fish market in the offing. The project at Karai Center, 10 kilometers from Naivasha town, is financed by Nakuru County and the Eastern Africa Green Council. According to Janet Ngombaku from the Eastern Africa Green Council, the project was part of their mission to facilitate trade of food in the region.
That utilizes solar power from this area because we need to use that as a free resource that has been given to us. We'll also be doing waste management as a process so that anything that comes to this market and goes out as a resource.
Naivasha East MCA Stanley Karanja noted that the market would transform economically and socially the area, adding the issues of safety for the traders had already been fully addressed.
Unajua gari ikisimama watu waangalie magari ambayo inapada na magari ambayo hapa huwa watu nile inaenda Nairobi ile ya kupada. Kwa hivyo sasa watu sasa hakuna mtu atafanyia biashara ya kuuza samaki na kuuza vituguu. Hizi unaona watu wanauza vituguu kando wa barabara. Sasa wote wataigizwa kwa soko.
Naivasha Sub-County Administrator Samuel Wamai said the fish hawkers would be the first beneficiaries of the stalls once they were complete.
Soko tunaweka hapa itakuwa na standard ya kimataifa na itakuja kusaidia vijana wengi sana ambao wamekuwa na shida ya kutafuta kazi.
Well, on that note, we now move on to our interview segment whereby this afternoon we are joined by William Kamara, who is the content manager at LG Kenya, and we shall be taking a look at technology trends with a focus on television sets. Now, maybe to kick us off, how pronounced is the issue of counterfeit TVs in the market currently?
Okay, thank you very much for having me, Jackie. It's always a pleasure. So when talking about counterfeit, you find that especially in electronics, research was done by Anti-Counterfeit Agency in Kenya around 2019 coming to 2020, and taking into the factors affecting counterfeits in Kenya, we found that many businesses are affected by counterfeits, with electronics taking a major part of that, with about 18% of counterfeits being on electronics. So you find counterfeit is does create a lot of issues in this market.
And what are electronic companies maybe doing to address the issue of counterfeits?
Okay, so the issue of counterfeits, you find that it affects when in electronics, let's say, it will affect everyone, because you found that the same research found that companies also do experience a lot of losses in terms of counterfeit, and then also there are some companies which don't know their products are being counterfeited. So we'd like to also recommend the government for doing that research, because it enables some companies know where they stand. But in terms of electronics, I would say from a perspective of LG Electronics, we developed a system that will help the end users on how to be able to identify any not genuine product or not fit for this market, because at the end of the day, it's the end user or the consumer who goes with the product at home and uses it. So if it's not genuine, or if it's counterfeit, they will also suffer a lot of loss, and even in some cases fires. So that way LG has been able to introduce this system. So if you're going to buy let's say a television set, washing machine, you can be able to verify the product before you even purchase, to identify that it is actually genuine.
So as we shift from the issue of counterfeit, maybe tell us, why is the after-sale services such as wall mounting and software updates important to a buyer?
Okay, so for TVs especially, when you're talking about the televisions, you find like, for example, the TV you have here is wall mounted. So one of the things we do encourage also is having to identify what use you're going to use for your TV, for you to be able to wall mount it, let's say, because it will also affect the sound and also the vision on how you see. And when it comes to software update, just like your phones, you know, nowadays everything is interconnected, all our devices, all our systems. So just as the same way you normally update your software to get the most recent updates, and also in terms of security, because when technology also evolves, I can say also other people, let's say even like hackers, they also evolve. So there is a way also for you to continuously update your TV software, so that you can be able to receive the most current security settings.
Well, other than wall mounting and maybe software updates, what other after-sale services are important to the buyer?
to the buyer. So other after sales services, I would say it's also when it comes to service and also when it comes to maintenance. So being able to easily access the brand or the manufacturer of the product is also key in terms of after sales, because you need to have a product or a brand that, you know, in case anything might happen, it's easier for you to reach the particular person, and also in terms of knowing in case it needs, let's say, any part to be changed, how easy it will be to get for you.
Okay, so among the factors influencing the choice of a TV one or to acquire, like for instance, picture quality is one of the things people look out for in the market. Why is that important?
See, with the evolution of TVs, I would say, because if you remember TVs back in the day when we had the normal CRT TVs, what they provided was, I usually say they provide a window to other places or to other universe where you cannot be able to reach. So picture quality is key, because that's what actually you are seeing. So depending on the TV you do have, picture quality is key, because that is what will make you identify how best. And I mean, if you want to go, let's say, for a holiday, you want to go to, let's say, Mombasa or Elias Springs, like I've seen, your TV should be able to show you the real colors and how natural that place is. So picture quality is key when it comes to selection of a TV.
So we've seen that most Kenyans are going for bigger sized screens now, and with a range between 32-inch to 65, others up to 80, I understand. And now maybe the most preferred sizes, maybe tell us a bit about that.
So when it comes to sizes for TVs, you find when the evolution of TV came into being, like when we were growing up, we used to have 14-inch to 21 inches size of TVs, but TVs have evolved all the way to having LED TVs, to having nanocell TVs, and even OLED TVs that we have. So one of the things most consumers know when they're looking for a TV is the size. So even if you're going to market to buy a TV, you'll be like, I want a big screen TV. So when you go to determine the size that you want, you find that there are a lot of sizes nowadays. But with the way the world is going and the lifestyle most people are taking into, you find most people by last year we did a research and found most people are shifting to like 55 inches to 43 inches and all the way to even introducing 86 inches for your living room and for your house.
Okay, so okay, maybe if I want to watch movies, if I want, depending on the use, should that like influence the size of the TV that I need to get?
Yes, that's a very good question, because we found that most people don't know when or how to best choose their TV. So LG is running a campaign that we're calling How to Choose Your TV, and telling people, depending on the use of your TV, let's say if you want movies, if you like gaming, if you like sports, there is a TV that is particularly recommended for you and that fits your lifestyle, such that different technologies depend on the content that you are playing. So for example, like the LG OLED is best for gamings because there is low input lag and you get faster response rate. And talking about movies, I mean, you can only go bigger when you want to experience a TV. So it will tell you, it will help you to get the correct size for your TV. And also to add on that, not only on the content, we want also to educate consumers on where exactly you will be placing your TV, because also the room matters if you want to choose a TV. So from lighting to electricity to sound, all that will be determined by the choice of TV that you make.
Okay, so what are the features such as artificial intelligence, Bluetooth, and Dolby important for today's TV sets?
Yes, so for today, you find that with the growing evolution of TVs and also with the technology that is coming back, you find that it is very hard not to incorporate these kinds of features to TVs. So like artificial intelligence, which relies mostly on deep learning, it means now the TV can be able to understand you you, the user, how best you want your content, and also how best the TV can help in delivering this content to you. And also when it comes to other smart features, let's say like sound, sound is also important. So incorporating with other big major brands when it comes to sound like Dolby, it gives you a much more better customer experience, and also it gives you more infotainment, because that's what TVs are for.
In terms of safety, we've seen some devices perhaps get spoiled, some explode. Maybe what are the safety measures that maybe as a user one needs to, I've bought a TV, but I need to, what do I need to do to ensure that it lasts for the intended time that
okay, so like with any electronics, which we do encourage our customers to get, is once you get your product, ensure that you do connect it properly to a power source. So not directly, or let's say directly to a power source, and also ensure you take notice of any updates, like I mentioned, that any updates that the TV is giving, and also check on the brand, like I said. So the brand is what will determine what you get, and also key is the warranty. So if you get a TV that gives you an extended warranty period of time, then that TV would be safe for you. Yeah.
So the warranty, it covers all sorts of damages, or it is limited to some extent?
Yeah, so the warranty covers manufacture defaults. So let's say one day you had your TV and one day it just stopped working, or maybe without any fault of yours. So the warranty is covered, and it's actually for 2 years. So it covers any manufacture default, any default that's not human caused, because you might break your TV intentionally.
So William, as we come to a close, maybe tell us what are your closing remarks?
So my closing remarks would be, with the growing age of technology, it's becoming harder and harder for people to get to know what kind of products they want to get. So once I would say, if you're looking for an appliance to buy, one, make sure you do your research on what exactly you want to get. And now, since we're talking about TVs, at the moment LG is running a campaign on how to choose your TVs. So let LG help you on how best to choose your TV, depending on the content that you want and also the room that you are using.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence here on Lunchtime News. That was William Kamore, who is the content manager at LG Kenya. Well, for now, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Google plans to allow third-party payment systems in South Korea in order to comply with a new law that bans major app store operators from forcing software developers to use their payment systems. Google's announcement comes after the Korea Communications Commission's request for the U.S. tech firm to come up with compliance plans for the new law that went into effect in September. Here are the details of these and other stories from across the globe.
Passed an amendment to Telecommunications Business Act dubbed the Anti-Google Law, banning big app store operators such as Google and Apple from forcing developers to use their payment systems, effectively stopping them from charging commissions on in-app purchases. The curb is the first such move by a major economy on the likes of Apple and Google, which face global criticism for requiring the use of proprietary payment systems that charge commissions of up to 30%. Google, which charges developers a 15% service fee for distributing apps, said it would reduce this to 11% when users choose an alternative billing system, recognizing that developers will incur costs to support their own billing systems. Meanwhile, India has cut the taxes paid by consumers on petrol and diesel after the surging cost of crude oil pushed fuel prices to record highs. The move is aimed to ease price rises and spur the overall economic cycle. Global commodity prices have soared this year as economies around the world recover from the impact of coronavirus pandemic. The move is also expected to boost demand for fuel as countries try to curb fossil fuel consumption and keep inflation low. India's excise duty on petrol has been reduced by 5 rupees per litre and by 10 rupees on diesel. Finally, the Federal Reserve has outlined plans to withdraw the billions of dollars it has been pumping into the economy during the pandemic. Since the start of the COVID crisis, the U.S. Central Bank has been buying $120 billion worth of bonds every month to help keep borrowing costs low. Fed Chair Jerome Powell said he expected economic growth to strengthen over the rest of the year. However, he said the Fed can be patient about raising interest rates. Powell said the Fed's purchases of treasuries and mortgage-backed securities would be scaled by $15 billion this month. The U.S. economy has rebounded as the vaccine rollout has allowed shops, restaurants, schools, and workplaces to reopen.
And in the sports arena, the Queen's Baton went into its second and final leg in Kenya in Ngong Hills with the leg of the relay themed around the sustainability theme of the Commonwealth Games. The baton went into Ngong Hills, a key training facility for Kenyan athletes and champions.
As part of the Queen's Baton leg, athletes in relay planted trees in Ngong Forest. The second day also saw athletes represent the Matatus culture as the baton was carried in the Matatus. The baton bearers included Huruma Kids, world champion and two-time Olympian Ellen Obiri, Olympian Faith Ogalo, Angela Okutunyi, among other athletes. The hike to the top of the Ngong Hills was led by 1988 Summer Olympic Games 5,000 meters gold medalist John Ngugi, and the baton will head to Uganda on Friday. Daniel Mwendwa, Sport.
Of the crackle of Raleigh exhausts filled the air Thursday morning at the Karen waterfront as a mini version of the East African Safari Classic Rally took off in earnest. Teams from countries including USA, Bulgaria, UK, Zimbabwe, Oman and South Africa are competing for the ultimate prize against the strong Kenyan representation including former winner Ian Duncan.
The three-day event will cover over 1,000 kilometers across the tough but stunning Amboseli terrain synonymous with the world's greatest classic rally. This mini rally is being held as precursor to the 10th edition that is set to take place on 10th to 18th of February 2022, and all plans have been put in place to ensure motorsport are treated to a spectacular show. Leading the Kenyan charge will be Eric Bengi and navigator Gatimo Mindo, who competed in this year's 2021 WRC Safari Rally, competing in the East African Safari Classic for the first time in an iconic rally car, the Dassan 180B. Other Maki Rally brands such as Ford, Skoda and Peugeot are joined by raid vehicles, including cars and buggies from CRT and Land Rover. In consultation with the Ministry of Health, the event's competitors, organizers, sponsors and support staff will adhere to strict COVID-19 protocols including mandatory and regular PCR tests, social distancing and wearing of masks. Daniel Mwendwa, Sports.
UEFA Europa League action will resume Thursday with 8 matches on card. High-flying West Ham will travel to face RC Genk at the Gigeka Arena in Belgium. For these and more, here's a look at the fixtures.
The 13th minute, when Diogo Jota put the horse on lead. In the 20th...
brings us to the end of the bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for choosing Lunchtime News. My name is Jacky Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Lucy Mora. Enjoy the rest of your day.